last thing I'll quickly talk about is part 2 of the final season of Cobra Kai, which just dropped this past weekend. So I talked about the first part a number of months ago when they dropped it. This is a supersized, extended 15 episode season. Traditionally, Cobra Kai would do 10 episode seasons, but because this is the final season, they've extended it a bit, and they're dropping it in 3 different parts. And now we've gotten part 2. Was eagerly excited to see what was going to take place. And as I mentioned in my previous review of part 1, most of this season is surrounding and taking place in Barcelona in particular because of the huge Saikai Taikai tournament that's happening. It's essentially the biggest karate tournament in the world. And the students of Miyagi-Do, which is now Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso, they come together to bring the students together. They're competing in the Saikai Taikai, but they're also going against like the 6 or 7 other best dojos in the world. And it's a lot of competitions, a lot of things that are happening. And so this episodes or this sequence of episodes, these 5 episodes primarily take place in Barcelona where the competition is taking place. And overall, it was really, really good. I talked about the first part and how it was still a good, sort of first half, but it was certainly a lot of build up. They were training and getting ready for the Saikai Taikai. It was mostly kind of just like getting you and plotting you along to get to this big moment, obviously, that was going to take place. And now that we are here, and we're seeing the competition take place, and you see all of the new characters that get introduced, the new swath of villains that we see, now it's all like, okay, this is really paying off. And Cobra Kai has a ridiculously huge ensemble cast. There are so many characters. There's like 13 leads, but I don't know, man. Somehow they manage to always give everybody the appropriate amount of time and attention. Like you definitely have a bit of a whiplash effect because they bounce around storylines all the time. There's like 7 different concurrent storylines, but somehow they make it work and they make it all tie together. And then they all coalesce into a big, big moment at the end of the 5 episodes that ends up being probably the biggest battle in Cobra Kai history. I mean, there are like 60 people doing karate on each other. It's a massive fight that's happening. It's like fucking Avengers Endgame for karate. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. It's crazy. And this episode, the sequence of 5 episodes, it ends on a really, really big cliffhanger. Probably the most consequential cliffhanger for the entire series thus far. It's pretty dramatic. That leads us into the final 5 episodes, but I overall really enjoyed it. I like what they did here. I like that they continue to still focus on Johnny Lawrence. That's who we started on. Like, of course, Daniel LaRusso was like the most famous Karate Kid, of course, and they do a lot with him and sort of his unpacking of his relationship with Mr. Miyagi, some of the things that he didn't know, the secrets that Mr. Miyagi never revealed to him. They sort of address some of those things, and I enjoyed that. Always tying it into the original films with those two. But really, Johnny Lawrence is like the guy that I'm here for because he's just so compelling and so interesting, and they do some stuff with his character and his soon-to-be, wife and baby mother and all of that stuff. It's like really, really good things here. And all of the new villains that they introduced, the new dojos, they were very, very, very intriguing and layered, and I think just overall really entertaining. There's one girl in particular. Her name is Zara. She's like an influencer. She's like very famous on social media, does karate. Karate's like her big thing, and she's a pain in the ass, but she's so good. And a couple of other characters that are very similar in that way. And so I enjoyed it. And I think that placing the tournament here in the second half was a really smart decision because leaving this for the end, I think would leave too many loose threads and they would have to wrap up this series too quickly. And so I actually enjoy that the final 5 episodes, it appears, are going to be pretty much like all fallout and mostly sort of an epilogue because they have a lot to wrap up. This is the end of the road for all of these characters and for this story. And so I think the final 5 episodes will be serviced because of their placement of this big tournament, the big action, the big spectacle in the middle of the season, and then leave the final 5 episodes to sort of just wrap up those loose ends. And so they did just announce that the final 5 are going to come out in February, I think around Valentine's Day weekend. So we now finally have a date for that. So that'll be in 3 months. And then after that, in a few short months after that, the Karate Kid movie is going to be coming out. I also just quickly want to say, I forgot to mention this, but at New York Comic Con a few weeks ago, went to the Sony Pictures panel, and they showed a trailer for this new Karate Kid movie with Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. It's still not come out online. I thought it would be out by now, but it's still not been released online. I was very skeptical about the movie just because of like how strongly I love Cobra Kai, but seeing that trailer, I'm in. Like, it's a really good trailer. I'm very, very excited for that movie now. And I think Ralph Macchio also just confirmed that the film officially will take place after Cobra Kai. So it's all still within universe. They're just not directly referencing anything from Cobra Kai. They're sort of just leaving it on its own. And we're going to see Daniel-san kind of just go on his own separate, isolated adventure with, Jackie Chan's character, obviously, from that 2010 movie. So they're not messing with Cobra Kai. They're not, doing any weird alternate universe type shit. Like, everything will still be intact. It's just going to be a separate, sort of adventure. And maybe in the future, we can see Johnny Lawrence come in, and we can see, like, some of these other characters come in if they do, like, additional movies. So that potential will always still be there. So I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait till this final part comes out in February.
So if Jackie Chan is in the upcoming Karate Kid, is Karate Kid 2010 canon?
That's canon now. Yes, that is canon. Because
I like it. I kind of like that movie.
Yeah. That movie never, made any official connections, to those original movies. Not really. Mm-hmm. And one thing I will just like quickly say about the trailer that it does reveal, it's not a spoiler. It'll be in the trailer. I'm sure people will see it, but Jackie Chan's character did know Mr. Miyagi. They reveal that in the trailer that they did have some sort of relationship. We don't really know what it is. We don't know what the extent of it is, but there is like connective tissue between Jackie Chan's character, who I'm forgetting his name from that movie, and also Daniel, and there's shared history there. Mr. So, sure, yeah, I'll believe it. Whatever you say. But there's going to be some shared history between those two, in that movie. So yeah, I actually can't wait for it. I think the momentum is great here. The second season, or this final part when it comes out in February, leading into the movie, that's like, I think everybody kind of wins at that point. Everybody wins. Cobra Kai fans win. Karate Kid fans win. It all just kind of comes together really nicely here. Hopefully the movie is good by the time it comes out.